Why women fall for men that don't value them. If you read that title and said, what on earth is this guy smoking? I'm not. I'm going to give you the brutal truth. This is reality. And I'm going to break it down to female psychology so you actually understand why this is the way it is. Every man wants love and adoration from a woman. And so they give that love and adoration expecting to get it back. But guess what happens? They get cooked. They get absolutely cooked. The women you don't truly desire, that you don't truly value, they are the ones that love you and admire you the most. I'm going to explain exactly, down to the female psychology in this video, exactly why that is the case. Valuing women leads to behavior that drives them away. That is the underlying foundation of this entire video. When you truly value a woman, it will lead you to certain mindsets, which leads you to certain behaviors, which leads you to do things that drive them away. The outcome is not what you want. For example, when you truly value a woman, you want to give her attention all the time. You want to do everything for her. You want to always text her. You want to always be there. You want to always be doing all these things, tons and tons of attention. Here is the problem. Women don't value attention that's in excess. They don't value attention that is in a surplus. They only value attention that is scarce. Think about it. If everybody had gold bars, they wouldn't be worth anything. They're worth something because they are in scarce amounts. They're limited. They're hard to come by. There's no difference with attention and women. So if you give all this attention because you value her so much, guess what happens to your attention? It goes from potentially being valuable to being so worth nothing. Worth absolutely nothing, nothing they desire, causing her to lose all her attraction in you. What else does valuing women cause in a man's behavior? You're going to put her on a pedestal, you're going to validate her all the time, and you're going to compliment her all the time. What does that behavior do for them? What does that behavior towards women cause them to do as a result? Run away. We all know this. You put women on a pedestal, you compliment them, you validate them because you value them so much and you're giving them all of this validation, they run away. Because women are not meant to have power. There has to be hierarchy. And the behavior that comes from valuing them oftentimes puts them way up here, puts them on a pedestal, and every single time women will run from you. Every single time. The third thing that it will cause you to do when you value women is open and transparent communication. You're going to think, oh, I value her so much. I want her to know everything and I never want her to be in the dark and blah, blah, blah. Guess what you're doing to her attraction levels? You're plummeting them into planet Earth when you do these things. Now, why? Women's attraction comes from not knowing everything. When there is a level of intrigue and mystery, that is where attraction is maintained, okay? There's something called a curiosity ceiling. When you explode the curiosity ceiling by telling her everything and being super open and transparent because you value them so much, you want to be open and transparent, and you heard from women that's what they want, guess what happens? Plummets into the ground. You have to behave in a certain way that creates that mystery and intrigue because that is where attraction is formed. The fourth thing, you're very consistent, you're very predictable, which means you're very boring. When you value a woman so much and it comes out in your behavior, you want to be consistent and you want them to know how much you like them and you want to be predictable with your behavior. Good morning, good night, all these things because you're so concerned about her feelings. Guess what happens? Attraction goes to zero. Because you're so concerned with valuing them through consistency and predictability that there's no intrigue, there's no spice, there's no mystery, there's no emotional volatility, which is what women need. So a woman can see that a guy checks everything on paper, checks every single box, handsome, rich, successful, etc. If his behavior is consistent, predictable, boring, open, transparent, because he values her so much, her attraction will plummet. It does not matter how handsome you are. It does not matter how much money you have, which is something that I work with my one-on-one clients are, because a lot of them come to me, they're like, look, do I need to get richer? Do I need to be better looking? BS. You can get 1,000 times better with women by changing your behavior, understanding female psychology without changing your looks, money, or status. And even if you do have all those things, if you don't understand female psychology and you make these crucial mistakes, women will run from you. The next thing, you're afraid of putting her in her place or offending her. Men that value women to such a degree never want to hurt them, never want to offend them. They're little angels. Oh, what can I get you, sweetie? This is terrible. Okay, this is so bad. Women know they are inferior to men. Okay? On a deep, deep level, they know that. They know they need to be put the fuck in line by men. You don't believe me? Look around you. I want to see everything created and invented by a woman. Doesn't exist. Why? Because we're the ones that go out and hunt and kill and do all those things. We're the men. Okay? We are the ones in charge. If you're not putting her in line, If you're so afraid of offending her, she will find a man that's not, because they need that dynamic in a relationship. They need to know they have a man that is masculine, that is not afraid to offend them, because that means he can protect them. If you're afraid of offending her, how are you going to protect her? That is what the female psychology subconscious mind says in real time. They'll never say this verbally, but they say it on a subconscious level. You have to understand this. When you value her to such a degree that you won't offend her, you won't put her in line, she will leave you. She will cheat. She will get bored. She will not respect you. Women only respect men that put them in line, because that is the true hierarchy of nature. And you have to get that through your head. You have to unlearn and reprogram your mind around women and dating. This is the brutal truth. If you treat them equally, they will lose attraction. Not only do you need to put them in line, but you can't treat them as an equal. Okay, there's no 50-50. You cannot treat them as a voice of reason. You cannot treat their opinions as equal to yours. Why? It's very simple. Women know deep down that they are silly. They can't handle serious conversations. They can't handle basically anything. They get anxiety, they don't want to think, they want us to make every decision for them. So when we treat them equally, like a man-to-man dynamic, because we value them so much, and we want them to be heard, etc., it makes them uncomfortable. It creates a visceral reaction on an emotional and subconscious level that we value them so much. And it's unhealthy. It's quite literally unhealthy. It is more healthy to have hierarchy, to not view them as an equal, and to truly understand the dynamic between you and her, maintaining frame. But when guys value women to such a fucking crazy degree, they're going to treat them as an equal, or even worse, put them on a pedestal like I talked about. And slowly but surely the frame dies. Retention dies. Relationship fades away. Because there cannot be a 50-50 relationship. One person has more power and more leverage than the other. That's how it always has been. That's how it always will be. And it has to be you, because if it's her, they can't handle the power, they will leave. This has happened time and time again. And so the more you value and the more you do this, it's directly correlated to them leaving. Every single fucking time. I'll give you a short story about this, about where I made this mistake seriously fucking wrong. I was in a long-term relationship. I just got out of it. And I lost my game. This is about 5-6 years ago. I completely lost. I forgot how to date. I lost that dog in me. Because I was basically neutered being in a long-term relationship. I get out of it and I start dating this girl. I start seeing this girl. Super into her. Beautiful girl. Her name was Mackenzie or McKenna. Super beautiful girl. And I'm taking her to dinner. I'm doing all the things I tell you guys not to do because I've made all the mistakes. I'm taking her to dinner and I'm seeing her and I'm getting her a gift. It wasn't expensive, but I got her a little gift. After like 4 dates, no intimacy, and she completely ghosted me. Why? I valued her. I valued her to such a degree that it led my behavior to be weak, to be soft, to be transparent, to be predictable, to be feminine, to be emotional, and she got repulsed because of it. Because that's not how women operate. And you can want whatever fairy tale land, Disney movie you want. This will never change. I've lived it every single time. The women I don't value, and I've trained myself not to value any women that I date, because then they chase me. This is female psychology. They want what's hard to get. The last thing, they are born to follow. You have to understand this. They are born to follow, and then also I'm going to tell you exactly how to masterfully execute this. They are born to follow, guys, okay? They are not born to be equals or to dominate you or to have the power. And equality equals them leading you. There is no frame if there is equality. Now, how do you execute this, right? How do you masterfully execute this with women that you do care about and you do value, but you can't let your behavior dictate that? You can't let your behavior be transparent and show that, because then your behavior will drive them away. Well, you need to focus on yourself. Women focus on men. Men focus on life. She cannot be the number one thing in your life. You have to stay busy. You have to control your mind. You have to be in the gym. You have to be focused on your work. Let them think about you. You cannot be focused and thinking about them. You also have to understand you need to place boundaries, and there has to be incentives and repercussions around her behavior to retain her. You cannot be afraid to lose women. When you're afraid to lose her, she sees the desperation. She sees how much you value her. She runs. You have to be okay walking away from the table. You have to know that you're going to go out guns blazing with your power, with your leverage, and as a result, she will chase you forever. That is how women operate. When you show them, I love you so much, I can never lose you, I value you so much, they run for the fucking hills. This is the brutal truth of dating in women. But once you understand it, once you reprogram your mind, you're in the 1%. You can date whoever you want. You can have a wife, you can have a girlfriend, whatever it is that you truly desire. It's your game to play. You're no longer at the mercy of women in dating. You are in charge. You have the power. You have the confidence. You understand them to such a degree, you can completely predict their behavior based on how you behave. And that is a level of mastery that most men never get to. but I get all my one-on-one clients too. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, become a master at women dating, I don't care if you want a rotation or a wife and kids, all of this information is necessary to learn. Click the application link below. I also have an Unreadable Man course as well to make you unreadable with women. Check that out as well. I'll see you in the next video.